Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another weekly forecast. This one is for Monday, October 19th, all the way through to Sunday, October 25th of 2020. And this week we have some good news. The lesser benefic Venus is actually going to be providing what I like to call a mitigating influence for some of the tougher energies we've been experiencing these last few weeks. We've been having, of course, as I've been speaking about time and time again throughout this entire period, we've been having Mars retrograde in the sign of Aries, squaring off to the Capricorn planets Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And that has been causing a lot of tension, and it keeps getting highlighted by the new moon, the full moon, the planetary aspects, and also right now we have a Mercury retrograde. So things have been tense, things have been a little crazy. A lot of people have been feeling this, especially if you have a lot of energy in the cardinal signs. And this week, Venus in the sign of Virgo, which is technically at its fall, so it doesn't operate quite as efficiently in the sign of Virgo. However, it is providing us with an outlet. It's making a trine to those Capricorn planets. And so this is a week where we can lean on the people that we care about to support us, and we can show up in service to help others who are maybe struggling or having difficulties beyond what we are having. So this is actually a really powerful, positive week where Venus is sort of saving us from the worst of the energies that we would otherwise be experiencing. And so that's what we're going to be talking about this week. But before we do, I just wanted to mention, for those who are new to my channel, or even for those who have been around for a while, just to give you a refresher, the way that I structure my videos is that I spend the first maybe 5-10 minutes maximum discussing the general energy for the week ahead. This is very important to listen to. I don't recommend skipping it because it does provide an important context for the more personalized reading you're going to be getting in the forecast for all 12 signs. Speaking of which, when we get into that part, I highly recommend listening to your rising, sun, and moon sign, because all three of these are going to be very important, and they're going to give you a more holistic viewpoint or a more holistic understanding of what's going on for you this week. The rising sign will be the most predominant energy, the sun sign will be secondary, and the moon sign will be important to listen to as well, especially if you have a lot of lunar energy, if you are a Cancer rising or sun sign, or even if you were born at night. And this is going to be a more subjective, internalized energy as opposed to externalized with the sun and the rising. Finally, at the end of each video, I'm doing a new thing where I discuss in short, just for a couple of minutes, a preview of what's coming up for the following week, which we'll be discussing in next week's forecast. I do these forecasts every single Saturday, usually at 9 a.m. This week I'm a little behind, but 9 a.m. every Saturday is my upload time for these. So make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so you never miss an important astrology update. So that being said, let's get into the general discussion and talk about what's going on here. So we have a few different things. I've been discussing Mercury opposing Uranus for a couple of weeks now. It's been present for a few weeks now. We first had this happen just before Mercury went retrograde. Mercury actually went retrograde last week in a very close opposition still with Uranus. And this brought for a lot of people a lot of really surprising opportunities, insights, and even surprising messages and news. And I know that that happened for me in particular, having Mercury stationed right on my ascendant. So I'm sure I'm not alone with that one, where it changes things. It changes your plans. You have to change direction. You have to backtrack. You have to rethink what you're doing. And that's going to be coming back around at the start of this week on Monday. You might already be feeling it this weekend, or you're very likely to already be feeling it this weekend, but it'll be the most predominant Monday and even into Tuesday. We won't discuss this in excessive detail just because I've already talked about it quite a bit, but this can bring a change in direction for you that comes about in a very surprising way. It sort of derails your plans, where you had this excitement, you had this insight or inspiration, you had a new opportunity come up, and then something came up that changed it, and now you have to retreat, backtrack, and then reevaluate before you move forward, which will most likely happen more so in November. The other things that are happening are what I was discussing at the beginning of this video, and that's what I'm most excited about. We have Venus making a really beautiful trine with Pluto on Wednesday, and then it's going to be coming into a trine with Saturn on Saturday, and then next week it'll do its nice little trine with Jupiter, which is probably going to be the most positive influence out of all of these. However, actually, yeah, that's going to be happening. That's going to be happening quite soon. So actually that happens on Monday. Sorry. It does Jupiter first, obviously. Jupiter is Jupiter is coming first right now. I don't know why I thought it was happening last. So yeah, on Monday, Venus is going to be trining Jupiter. And so that is actually the most exciting of the aspects. We have the Mercury opposition to Uranus, which is great, new exciting ideas, new opportunities. We have Venus, the lesser benefic, in a really nice trine with the great benefic planet Jupiter. And this is going to provide an outlet and incredible benefits and opportunities that we wouldn't otherwise have access to during this really tense and more challenging time. And so this is a time where if you need to make something happen, reach out to other people, and you can very likely make some progress this week, or at the very least get some relief from some of the more tense responsibilities or burdensome energies in your life. So definitely a good thing. I love Venus in trine with Jupiter because it gives you a chance to relax. It gives you a chance to indulge. It gives you a chance to feel good, where, otherwise you might be feeling really burnt out or really stagnant or really stuck or really frustrated in a lot of ways. This is going to give you an outlet to just relax and feel good and be at peace, or to engage in relationship and maybe get some benefits that can help you and assist you in the areas where you're feeling stuck through your connections with others. And I'll speak more specifically about where this outlet's going to be taking place for each of the 12 signs in just a moment here. And then, so then we have Venus in trine with Pluto on Wednesday, Venus in trine with Saturn on Saturday. So this whole week we have kind of an outlet where, okay, things are not going well here, but where can we reach out? Where can we focus our attention in a way that's going to be more productive, so that way we can actually do the things that we want to do or that we need to do, and where we can make some progress this week, or at the very least get that relief. The other thing that's happening is on Sunday, Mercury is actually going to be cazimi at 2 degrees 48 minutes in the sign of Scorpio. This is a time where we can get some really deep understanding, deep insight, really important messages that really hit home and that are very rooted in truth that we need to hear. And this is a time where communication can be more effective and much more deliberate. It's going to be very precise. You're not going to be communicating just for the sake of communicating. This is if you have something very important to say and very truthful that needs to get out there. This is a time where it's going to be flowing more effectively. When Mercury is in a conjunction with the sun within 16 minutes, so exact by degree, 16 minutes away from exact, it's considered cazimi. So it's actually sitting at the throne or at the seat of the sun, and it's considered to be in an elevated position where the positive attributes of Mercury become highlighted or illuminated by the sun. That's what's going on Sunday. And every time we have a Mercury retrograde, we have a cazimi period. The cazimi period is where that Mercury retrograde fog clears. If we're being indecisive, if we don't understand what's going on or what moves to make, if there's a message that we need to receive or we need to give, this is the time. And so the window is usually about 2.5 hours from the actual cazimi point, which is happening at 12:23 p.m. Mountain Time. So you'll have to adjust for your time zone for that. But that's your window. So especially because it's in the sign of Scorpio, I recommend using this for more introspective work and maybe even pulling yourself away from the outside world for a little bit to get the clarity and to get the messages that you need in order to move forward more effectively. But again, if you do need to say something very deliberate and very specific, if you need to tell the truth or if you need the truth to be told to you, this is a period where that can happen more effectively. And so that's what's going on, I think, for the week ahead. And I just wanted to let you guys know a couple of things here. So first and foremost, my Navigating 2021 webinar is happening on October 27th live. Even if you can't attend live, there will be a recorded version that will be released within 48 hours of the live event. I'm going really in depth into the astrology for 2021 so you can be completely aware and ready to go when the new year comes with your plans and with your strategies for navigating this energy. And so this is a pay what you want, donation-based webinar, and that's going to be down in the description below, the link to register. And so I highly recommend jumping in and doing that. I don't care if you can pay 50 cents or $50. I just want you to be able to attend and to get this information so you're ready for the new year. And also, speaking of being prepared and ready and forewarned and forearmed, my winter electional astrology guide is going to be released on November 9th. If you pre-order now, you will get a discount and you will be the first person or one of the first people to receive this really elaborate electional astrology guide that points out the best and worst days for the entire winter season, December, January, and February. It contains an at-a-glance calendar, a written comprehensive guide, and also a video guide that goes even more in depth for every single month. You can find that down in the description below as well, so you can plan your winter activities and launches and initiations very effectively there. All right, so let's get into the forecast for all 12 signs. I always, of course, start with Aries, the top of the zodiac here. That's not correct. Aries. So for Aries and for Aries rising, you've been feeling this energy way more intensely than a lot of the signs. Your chart ruler, if you're an Aries rising, or the ruler of your sun or moon, has been in retrograde. Aries is all about moving forward, making things happen. You want what you want when you want it, and you're used to getting it because you force it, you make it happen, right? You are somebody who's very easily able to exercise your will to get things done. And now you're being sort of blocked from that. And it could be, that you're being blocked by a higher authority or by somebody in a position of power. It could be that your work situation is blocking you from getting what you want or doing what you want. Or it could even be a work situation that you're trying to push forward with that's just not working out. This is a week where you're going to get an outlet. That outlet is going to be through your support system, through your coworkers, through your work environment. This is a week to delegate or to reach out to others who are your peers in your field for help and for support. This is also a week to find and maintain balance through small projects and through your daily work routines or even your daily health routines. And that's going to actually help to provide a good launching point for keeping you going, keeping you moving forward, right? Because this is a time where we need patience. We need persistence. We need to be very deliberate in our actions, and we need self-discipline. This isn't a time where things are going to come quickly or easily. And so this is where you can kind of recharge. So looking at your health routines to make sure that you are ready to go and that you can continue on in the way that you need to make things happen is going to be very important. But if you do need help, if you feel like you are just, at your wit's end, or you're exhausted, or you're feeling super frustrated with your circumstances, delegating, if you have employees or like an assistant or somebody who can help you, that's going to be strategy number one. Reaching out to your coworkers or to your peers for assistance or for guidance, that's going to be, strategy number two. Making sure that you're taking care of things behind the scenes, your daily routines, focusing on the smaller stuff and creating balance in that way with your work. That's going to be strategy number three. And also, if your health is an issue, which it could be with your chart ruler in the first house, retrograding and all of that, this is a time to really focus on creating balance by indulging, relaxing, reaching out to others who can assist you, those types of things. Okay. And then for Taurus and for Taurus rising, your energy has been it hasn't been as tough for Taurus because you have the Capricorn planets actually trining your ascendant sun or moon, especially if you have ascendant sun or moon anywhere from, really 15 to 30 degrees. You're going to be feeling this in a more positive way where you're feeling a lot of strength, resilience, except over these past couple of months, you might have been hitting some barriers, some blockages, some frustrations, especially coming from hidden sources or coming from your own subconscious, right? It's kind of like you're having some sort of subconscious rage or subconscious really volatile energy that is, you're like, I need to do this right now, and it's not happening maybe at the speed that it would be happening in the more etheric realms. But this is a week actually that's really great for Taurus, because Venus will be making a grand trine with your ascendant sun or moon, especially again, if you have your ascendant sun or moon anywhere from that 15 to 25 degrees, you're going to be feeling this very positively and very powerfully. This is a time where if you've been wanting to do something and you've been having a lot of hesitation or blockages, or kind of having to backtrack in the area of travel, connection with foreign countries, education, publishing, even things involving like law, especially courtrooms and like higher law and things like that. If there's been issues arising in those areas where you've been moving, and all of a sudden you're having these difficulties, now's a time where you can find some relief. This is probably for Taurus the best time for you to relax, to indulge in things that feel really good to you, to do the things that you love to do because you love to do them, to take your hobbies, your interests, your passions, and channel them into some sort of educational pursuit, or to get some additional education, or go back and review old educational like courses or materials around something that you're really passionate about, because that's going to come back around and help you, and that's actually going to bring you a lot of joy this week. This is a great week for engaging with your children if you have any, or children in general, or at the very least a childlike energy where you're playing and having fun, or reaching out to a romantic partner, or having some romance and some fun this week. But this is a week where you're going to get a little bit of a break. You can just kind of rest, relax, indulge a little bit more, have an adventure, even if it's just a mental adventure through some sort of fun educational pursuit. Okay, and for Gemini and for Gemini rising. For Geminis, this energy is happening, let's see here. This is happening, or has been happening, in your 11th house, which is the house of friends and social networks, and also the 8th house. This would very literally translate for a lot of you as power struggles involving your social circle, your social networks, your friends, groups of people you surround yourself with by choice. This could even be involving the internet or social media, which I've been recommending Geminis stay away from because that's going to cause conflict. And especially if you're the instigator, it's going to come back and kind of bite you later on. But this is a time where also, if you've been feeling stressed or strained financially, especially regarding debt, taxes, inheritance, insurance, other people's money, your partner's finances, now's a time where something can come in and help you. This is a time to lean on family. So if your friendships are kind of a mess, or your relationships are more complicated or more restrictive or more challenging than normal, now's a time to spend time at home. Rebalance your home environment in some way. Make sure your home is aesthetically pleasing and really pleasant for you, because that's actually going to help you a lot when it comes to the other issues that you're experiencing right now. But also, this is a really important time to reach out and to connect with family. And so this is something where if you've been experiencing a lot of fear, anxiety, trauma, power struggles, delays, financial issues even, you could reach out to a family member and they could help you, or at least provide you with some sort of direction or support. And so definitely focusing on family, focusing on your roots, focusing on your home environment, that's going to be your outlet where things are going to be going much more smoothly for you this week. And for Cancer and for Cancer rising. So for Cancers, this energy is happening, or has been happening for a while now, in your 10th house of career and public reputation, and also in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships, especially marriage partnerships and close personal relationships. And so for you guys, this is a time where communication is key, especially if you've been having battles or sort of heavy energy, or feeling restricted or overly responsible when it comes to not just marriage partnership or romantic relationships, but also work-related partnerships and relationships. Like if you have a business partner and you've been arguing, or you've been feeling like you can't move forward with what you want to because you need their permission, or there's been some sort of battle or dispute or hesitation on their end, open and honest communication is going to help to create balance. And the same thing goes for your romantic life and for your marriage partnerships, or close friendships even could be affected by this. Wherever there's been difficulty or challenge or strain or stress in relationships, communicate. Even with the Mercury retrograde, now is a great time, because Mercury is actually transiting your ascendant and descendant in a very positive way. Now's the time to go back and revisit old communications that you need to revisit in order to get things clear and straighten things out. So that way, after all of this tense energy has dissipated, you can move forward together as a team. For Leo and for Leo rising. So for Leos, this has been happening in your 6th and in your 9th house. There may have been health issues that have been burdening you. You might have been having a lot of issues with your work behind the scenes. Your day-to-day work routines might feel like a heavy burden or a struggle. It might feel like you want to do something really adventurous, really exciting, really ambitious, but your day-to-day reality is preventing you from doing that. Now's a time where you can actually find an outlet by either buying something that's going to help you to create a better situation for yourself that's more balanced and more harmonious on a day-to-day level. So making an important purchase. I wouldn't say that you should buy something really extravagant or crazy, but there is something maybe that you need to shell out for when it comes to assistance or support with your day-to-day work routines or with your day-to-day routines in general. It could be as simple as hiring someone to come and clean your house once a week or once a month even, to alleviate some of that responsibility and pressure on a day-to-day level, so that way you can follow that drive, follow that ambition, do the things that you want to do. Or it could even be investing in some sort of new system or some sort of assistant or some sort of maybe even a physical thing that helps you on a day-to-day level. This is also a good time to invest in your health and to invest in really good, clean food. That's that Virgo energy in your 2nd house with that Venus energy, and that trine to the 6th house. If you've been having health issues, buy those supplements. Spend that extra money on the good stuff, the healthiest that you can afford given your current circumstances, and you're going to have a lot of benefits from that, and that's going to give you the energy, and that's going to actually help you out a lot moving forward. So this is a time to spend a little bit more on something that's going to help you and that's going to provide the support that you need. For Virgo and for Virgo rising, this is actually a really great energy for Virgos. So especially if you're a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, anywhere from 15 to 30 degrees, you've been experiencing the energy of the Capricorn planets a lot more positively and in a way that's very transformative and self-disciplined, where you're creating better structures, where you can do the things that you love to do because you love to do them, where you can experience more joy, romance, play, fun, or you can have a better situation for your children if that's applicable to you. And so this has actually been impacting you in a way that's much more positive. But in the past few weeks, it's probably been a lot more tense. There could have been financial issues with debt, joint finances, other people's money, the way that your partner creates their resources, all of those types of things, or even fears or anxieties from the past that are preventing you from fully expressing that energy of joy and moving into the new structures that you need to move into. Or that could be preventing you from creating what you want to create for your children or your relationship with your children. And it's still moving forward. Like, this is an energy where there's like a lot of positive things happening, but you're having to work harder right now to make those things happen for Virgos. And that's on all levels too. That's like in terms of your own goals, direction, orientation in life, your relationships. I mean, this is really impacting you in a lot of ways. But this week, actually, things are going to be much more positive for you. This is a week where Venus is in your sign, making you feel much more balanced, much more beautiful. This is a time to relax, kick back, indulge. Do the things that you love to do because you love to do them, not because you're trying to create some sort of structure for yourself moving forward, like a business or something like that. Engage in your hobbies, engage in romance, engage in play, do the things that you love. And I mean, this will actually benefit you in a lot of ways. It'll recharge your batteries so you can continue to move forward and create what you want to create. This is a time where your relationship with your children or your relationship with a lover of some kind, I say lover instead of like partner, because it could be that 5th house energy where it's more like a fling or a love affair or a romance. But these types of relationships can improve this week and can be very beneficial and can be an area where you can lean on. And also, you know, your romantic partner too, if you are like in a marriage partnership or a long-term relationship, this is something that you can lean on and that will be much more beneficial for you this week as well. Okay, and for Libra rising. So for Libras, this has been happening in your fourth and in your seventh house. Lots of power struggles in the home, lots of power struggles with the family, lots of tension in your relationships, especially romantic partnerships, especially family relationships, but really all close personal relationships have been feeling more burdensome, more pressing, more frustrating, more tense in a lot of ways. Or there could have been a really tense situation involving your home, your place of living, or a contract or a negotiation involving your home or your place of living. If home life has been feeling way more trouble than it's worth, like way more work. So right now, being at home feels like work. It feels like a burden. It feels stressful for a lot of Libra rising people, and for Libra sun signs too. I've been seeing that actually with my friends and clients and things like that. Now's a time where you need to spend time alone. Get away from that. Get away from that. Spend time in solitude, seclusion, or at the very least, just away from your normal daily routines, daily habits, and especially away from your home environment or from those partnerships that have been feeling so burdensome and stressful and chaotic and like, ugh. Get away from that. That's actually going to help you a lot. It's going to recharge your batteries and give you what you need in order to move forward and progress in these relationships or progress in your living situation or home environment. So this is a time to take time for you, take time in solitude and just relax. Okay. For Scorpio and for Scorpio rising, this energy has been happening in your third and your sixth house. Your health, your daily habits and routines have been feeling much more stressful, much more strenuous. It feels like you have so much to do, but you just can't do it because you've been having blockages and delays and restrictions left and right. There can also be health issues coming up for Scorpio and for Scorpio rising. I've had a lot of Scorpio rising people reach out to me and say that they have been having various strange health issues. I know I've had some issues the past few weeks, but I'm still here going strong, luckily. Knocking on wood. But yeah, so this is a time where also communication has been really intense for Scorpios and Scorpio risings, and you might have been having some very interesting or very just like dark or intense or kind of strenuous energies involving your neighbors, your neighborhood, your community, your siblings. I actually shared my own personal story in my Astrology Stories group over on Facebook about that because it was just crazy the way it was showing up for me. But this is a week where you can get some reprieve. The reprieve comes from your friends, your social networks, the people you surround yourself with by choice. This is the time to reach out. This is the time to collaborate. This is the time to connect with groups of people that you love, to put that all out there, to spend time with your friends, to socialize as much as possible, however that's available to you. I know in Europe, there are places that are going back into lockdown. If that's the case, do not let that isolate you this week. Definitely reach out to your friends, do those Zoom meetings, call them, do whatever you can to keep that social connection going because that's going to be so important for you this week, and that's going to give you such a relief from a lot of the tension you've been experiencing. And this is also going to open up better communication and give you a lot of ideas that can help you to resolve some of the issues that you've been having behind the scenes with your work, with communication issues, with your community, with your siblings, with your health, all of the above. So definitely reach out to friends this week if that's, even if it's not available to you physically, do it in whatever way that you can, or at least reach out to your networks, to your communities in some way. All right, for Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this has been a very tense time when it comes to your finances, the way that you create resources. There might have been power struggles, difficulties, challenges involving, or even arguments or disputes involving your work, involving your financial situation, and involving the way that you create resources. And it's been preventing you from moving forward with your passions and the things that really spark joy, to use that Marie Kondo saying. But that's really what the fifth house is, and Mars is transiting your fifth house. The fifth house is the area that sparks joy, that gives you pleasure, that causes you to feel really lit up and excited about things. It's where you go to just live life and to do the things that you love. And so, there's been some financial strain that's been preventing you from doing those things and from really engaging in your ambitions, goals, desires. And there's maybe been some strains around the way that you create your resources. In either case, this week you're going to get a reward, I would say, from work, or work is going to become a lot easier for you. You could get some sort of praise or some sort of help or assistance from somebody in a position of power and authority, and that could actually generate more income or relieve some of that financial burden, or that could provide new opportunities to you in some way. And so actually work this week looks like, especially when it comes to your overall career stuff, because there's a little bit of chaos going on in your 6th house still and your 12th house. But overall, when it comes to the big picture with your work, something can happen this week where you're able to create a better balance, you're able to move forward, and somebody in a position of power or somebody who's in a position to do so can actually help you in some way. And so don't be afraid to reach out to those who are in positions of power and authority. Don't be afraid to reach out to your boss if you need some assistance, or if you need some additional support. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody who's in an authoritative position within your field who can help guide you in the right direction, because this is a week where that can provide a lot of relief for you. Oh, I haven't been switching them, have I? That was Sagittarius. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. I'm recording this kind of late, so this is just me being, Mercury retrograded right now. Sorry about that. Everyone, if you look at the timestamps, you'll see exactly where all of that was. I'm sure somebody will provide them soon. All right, so for Capricorn and Capricorn rising. So for Capricorns, this energy has actually been happening in your house, in your sign, and it's been squaring Mars in the 4th. So there's some sort of strain, stress, tension going on behind the scenes involving your home, your family, your property, your place of living, where it feels like there's something you really need to move forward with, but you are blocking it. Maybe it's your own hesitation. Maybe it's your own procrastination. Maybe it's your own lack of confidence that's been preventing you from moving forward. Or maybe it's that you have so much burden, so much stress, so much strain that you can't move forward with the things that you want to move forward with. Or there's been some tension in the home that's been really oppressive in some way. If that's the case, now's the time for you to travel. If you're able to travel, take a little trip, get out there, do something that is going to free your mind and that's going to give you a little bit of an adventure, especially if you do that in partnership with somebody. You could also pair up with a new teacher or take a new course that expands your mind. So it could be a mental adventure where you're learning about something that really, it expands your mind, it broadens your horizons, it changes your beliefs about God, the universe, the world around you. It creates better balance when it comes to your perspective on things, and that's going to provide that reprieve. That's going to give you the sense of perspective that you need in order to move forward and to continue being persistent and self-disciplined in pursuit of the goals, in pursuit of the things that need to be taken care of right now. And the same thing with travel. That's going to open your mind, it's going to broaden your horizons, and it's going to provide opportunities that wouldn't otherwise be there, especially when it comes to changing your perspective. Okay, and Aquarius rising. So for Aquarius, you guys have been having more tension when it comes to communication, when it comes to your community, when it comes to sort of day-to-day connections with people. There could be some sort of really challenging situation involving your extended family or your siblings, or relatives in general that have been coming up for you. There could be some delays or hesitation or strain involving your education or even your children's education, because this is early childhood education in the 3rd house. And it's just been, burdensome. And behind the scenes, you're letting go of so much and restructuring so much because you're about to have this big cosmic reset with the great conjunction in your sign. So it's like you're going through this purge. You have all this stress in your mind, especially. Like I would say that for Aquarius, most of the stress is going to be mental as opposed to physical. Like you can't stop thinking about all these things and it's stressing you out and you're going to burn yourself out just by thinking. If that's the case, now's the time to kind of take a deep dive. Like this is a time where you can get assistance from like your inner world. This is a time to go in and do some sort of psychological healing, take some sort of course, do some sort of meditation, do some sort of shamanic healing, engage in talk therapy or something along those lines if that feels good to you and if that's something that makes sense for your current situation. But this is a time where you're going to find balance by going deeper. This could even be a time where you could go in and study something involving the occult sciences or something that's a little bit darker, deeper, and taboo. And that's actually going to help to pull you you out of that mental chatter and that mental strain and stress, and to understand things from a better perspective, so that way you can release what you need to release. And it could also be you having to address your fears around letting go. Like there's some stuff here that in your life that's really major that you need to let go of. And that Venus energy is maybe you reaching out to somebody and getting that depth of understanding, or you just facing your fears and understanding where these fears are coming from. You have to relinquish power and control. You can't obsess over these things anymore. You have to create a better balance so you can let go, so you can move forward, and so you can get that mental calm that you've been seeking. Okay, and then for Pisces and for Pisces rising. So for Pisces, this has been happening in your 11th and in your second house. Money issues might have been coming up. There's like some big purchase maybe that you want to make that it's like, I want to do this right now. But, Mars retrograde and Mars being the ruler of your second house is like, no, you have to kind of go back and rethink this. You have to revisit things. Or maybe you made a major purchase and that's causing a lot of stress, strain, and burden for you, and you have to kind of go back and fix a bunch of stuff. Whatever the case is, there's been some strain financially or some stress financially, and something that you can't really move forward with in the way that you want to. And also there's a lot of tension and kind of strain and challenge going on in the area of friends and social networks and people you surround yourself with by choice. And I've been talking about this. This is not a time to lend money to your friends. This is not a time to borrow money from your friends. Don't get your finances tied up in your friendships, in your connections and relationships if you can avoid it at this time. But whatever it is that's been going on for you, now's the time to reach out to the people on a one-on-one basis that you care about the most. This is a great week where you can receive some support, some rest, some reprieve, an outlet or an out from your close personal relationships, especially romantic partnerships, especially love relationships, but also close friendships. The people that you are closest to are going to be the ones that help you to feel good this week. So connect with those people, connect with the people that you care about most, connect with the people that you're closest to, and that's going to provide not just some rest, some reprieve, it's going to help you to kind of reset and come back into balance, but they can actually be helpful. They can be of service in helping you to resolve any issues you've been having with your social circle or with your friends. Maybe you can kind of unload on them. This is what this person's doing, and oh my gosh, it's been so hard. And they'll be like, well, maybe you should see it from this vantage point. Maybe you should do this. This is something that can happen this week, and it can really give you a better sense of balance and a better sense of perspective, and maybe even give you some valuable insight that you need. And the same thing goes, the financial stuff too, but this is more going to help you with your interpersonal connections. So, leaning on somebody that you care about, having those one-on-one connections this week, that's going to be much better than group connections. So one-on-one connections where you really go deep into your connection with them, and you go deep into your issues, and you might come out with some solutions that you wouldn't have otherwise had. Okay. And so that is my forecast for all 12 signs. And so let's get into the energy for next week, because we do have some energy next week. And the main thing next week that I am actually super, super excited about is the big full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus on Halloween Day. This is actually going to be a more positive energy as opposed to that burdensome energy that we've been feeling. And so this is actually, even though there's still going to be hard energy, Mercury will be squaring Saturn at the end of next week. So we will still be feeling stuck in a lot of ways. And there's my cat. We will still be feeling stuck, especially mentally. Communication will be just absolute crap at the end of next week, just to put it bluntly. But there's something that we need to change. There's something that we need to liberate ourselves from. We need a personal revolution. We need to change something and to have some new energy brought into our lives. And that's what this is going to be bringing. And so this is going to shake us out of complacency in a very liberating, very positive, very powerful way. All the while, there still will be tense energies and challenges going on. This is going to be highlighting a more positive experience in the midst of that. And I do really think that a lot of people will be making some very dramatic changes toward the end of next week and into the following week as a result of this full moon. And it's going to feel good. It's going to feel freeing. It's going to feel liberating. And a lot of people are going to be rebelling very heavily against their current circumstances and rebelling very heavily against the limitations and restrictions that are being imposed on them from from within and also from without, from outside sources. So that's going to be a big part of this energy too. So it is a rebellious energy. We could see some social unrest, but it's also a personal revolution and a personal rebellion against anything and everything that's keeping us stuck. And so I love this energy, and I'm excited for it in a lot of ways. And so we'll talk about this much more in detail next week, next Saturday at 9 a.m. Again, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and share this video with your friends if you feel like they might benefit from some of the information that we discussed today. And yeah, that's about it. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.